Hey there, so today we have another review. This is beer from Firestone Walker. This is 2019 Napa Parabola. So I didn't realize that this is actually the first vintage of this beer. I thought this beer was actually a little bit older than this, but pretty much this is their take on Parabola, their famous barrel-aged Imperial Stout, one of the most well-guarded ones out there. And this is Parabola aged in wine barrels. So they're in wine country. Actually, your Firestone anniversary beers are blended from vintners. So vintners are in the area, they're wine country, and so that's actually how you get your anniversary beers. They sort of like get vintners to come in, they make a bunch of blends, they vote on those, and that's what your year's vintage is. So this is their Imperial Stout aged in red wine barrels from one of the most prestigious cult wineries in Napa. Not a huge wine person, so I'm quite curious which winery it is. And really curious to see how this beer turns out. Obviously, bourbon makes so much sense for Imperial Stout, but let's see how red wine barrel does. Love that it's in small bottle, 12-ounce bottles instead of the bombers anymore. Bombers are not much of a thing anymore. 3,000 barrels, 3,000 cases produced. 11.3 ABV. Yeah, lovely, lovely label. Beer is wonderfully dark and black. Doesn't have that like big, dark, kind of like Bourbon County sticking to the glass kind of thing, but nice kind of like deep brown head on that. Looks quite nice. That's interesting. It is that berry intense note of, it's a combination of Cabernet Sauvignon, Cab Franc, and Merlot. So this is a dark fruit tobacco, chewy roasted malts, along with this berry aromatics. Yeah, so I definitely get the base beer. It's got this, maybe the oaks coming in too. I almost get like a nice vanilla note, but it's a combination of dark roasted malts, kind of this kind of like tobacco-y coffee flavor, rolled in with a lot of just wine characteristics. It's berry, it's currant, it's licoricey. It almost smells infected in the sense that it's just so vinous that it almost seems like it's going to be tart. Fun. Got this one real nice warmed up. Oh yeah, that's funny. That's funny. So that is a big, rich Imperial Stout, meant to sit in bourbon barrels. So it's got the rich chewiness, it's tobacco-y, a lot of residual sweetness to it. I mean, what's the final gravity on this one? Final gravity is 11.2. I think the math ends up working out. Plato is like generally 4 times. So this beer finished at like 1040? 1044? That's really high. Imperial Stouts, I think the range is anywhere from, 1018 to 1030. So 1040 is quite high. That's actually in the range, finishing gravity of like what people are trying to push for a pastry stout to be at. So instead of those rich kind of coconut vanilla tones and those like really rich, like kind of like, those kind of desserty flavors, those kind of charred oak notes, that's it's coconut, vanilla, creme brulee, those kind of desserty tones that end up putting that like bourbon flavor really like matches well with Imperial Stout. Here it's like it's mostly the Imperial Stout that comes through, because obviously you don't have a, spirit forward barrel, it's a wine forward barrel, and that probably offers less characteristics. I get a lot of like tannins. A little bit of drying tannin quality, which you do get in bourbon, but it's almost the impression of like, it's actually not that tannic of beer. It's not super dry, but it comes off like there's like grape skins in here, and there's that wonderful berry note. And now that I talk about it, I get that kind of feel of the tannin, sort of like digging on the back, trying to dry this beer out. But that also could be the kind of like roasted malts, sort of like offering this kind of bitterness and attack on the back end. Tobacco-y for sure. It's fun beer. It's ashy, it's fruity, it's grapey. The grape kind of wine characteristics end up playing, I think they tend to like clash a little bit with the roasted malt on this one. Instead of offering notes of like marshmallow, again, the things I'm talking about, vanilla, coconut, marshmallow, dessert, it's like wine and stout, which is a little bit like, like it's berry and smoke. It's berry and deep roast characteristics. So pretty interesting. Yeah. high IBU beer. I mean, at least for 11.3 beer, 61 IBUs. I mean, for something that you're gonna barrel age, yeah. It bittered up a pretty good amount. It's a wonderful night sipper. I think it's more of that kind of like drinking small sips, like contemplative kind of beer than really like the impact of a pastry stout, impact of bourbon barrel aged stout. I appreciate beers like this exist, though. It can't beat bourbon barrel aged Imperial Stout. That's why the style is so popular. It's just like those two things just like meld so well, the bourbon cask and the Imperial Stout. This is fun. It's tasty, well executed, but it's different. The base style is still fantastic. This beer for me gets a solid 93. 93, that's Napa Parabola. Absolutely fantastic. Just a fun beer. Definitely check it out, you know. If you're a bourbon barrel aged stout fan, I don't think this is up for you, but if you're an Imperial Stout fan, I think this will do fun things for you. Yeah. Actually, let's bump it up to 94. 94, I think that, again, for Imperial Stout fans, you can enjoy this one. It just pulls a nice twang in there, that kind of berry character, the wine tannin character, the now I'm drinking more. Now I'm tasting more. There's some tannins coming in here, and it just throws wonderful complexity to this fun beer. Until next time, cheers. Thank you so much, Scott. Later.